I don't know about you, but I detest musical snobbery. Still, I never thought I'd see the day I'd willingly feature Michael Bolton on the channel, until I realised that he had one track featuring Toto's Jeff Porcaro on the drums. Hey, and welcome again to Acting is Reacting with me, JSB. Today I am continuing my long journey through the vast studio career of my all-time favourite drummer, probably, the late, great Jeff Porcaro. In his extensive career, there are a handful of notable acts for whom he only played on one track: Paul Simon, Chicago, Pink Floyd, and also, as it turns out, ladies' favourite, the big-haired, big-voiced Mr. Michael Bolton. The second question was Bolton's second US chart topper, his remake of course, the Percy Sledge classic, When a Man Loves a Woman. This was recorded for his mega-selling 1991 album Time, Love and Tenderness. So 91, Michael Bolton was pretty ubiquitous around this time, and I was in my preteen years and did not care for him a jot, though I wouldn't have and still won't deny that he can sing. And while I often didn't care for his versions of classics, he did at least have great taste in cover song choices, this being no exception. And while it got a pretty decent amount of airplay, it wasn't a huge hit in New Zealand, perhaps because just a few years earlier, our Aussie cousin legend Jimmy Barnes had a hit with it from his live album Barnstorming. So that might have led to Michael's version not getting quite the traction it got in other places. Thank you, Jimmy. Anyway, so I know Jimmy's version, I know the original version, and also, of course, my personal favourite version by Burton Cummings. So Michael simply couldn't stack up against those other versions, to my mind at least. But I never paid attention to the drum track, and had no clue that it was Jeff playing on it. So that's reason enough for me to give it one more proper listen. Will I reevaluate the whole thing, or only be listening to the drum track? Either way, I will go in with an open mind, so whether you love or loathe the Boltmeister, as precisely nobody calls him, yeah, smash that like button and let's re-listen to Michael Bolton's When a Man Loves a Woman, featuring Toto's Jeff Porcaro on drums. Michael Thompson on guitar, by the way, who led me to this version, which I'll talk about afterwards. And yeah, Jeff's already sounding steady.
Trade the world for the good things found. If she is bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on his best friend, he puts her down.
This is far, far from awful. So far.
That's the way it ought to be. When a man loves a woman, I give you everything I've got.
James running away with himself a little bit there.
She can bring him such misery. pieces, baby.
Ah, Jeffrey. Worth hearing just for that moment alone.
Okay.
Right, that was Michael Bolton's When a Man Loves a Woman, and you know what? It's a lot less worse than I was remembering. Um, there's a couple of times when he just strains a bit too much, but when he's going straight down the line with his vocals, he's pretty damn good. And it's a slower version than the others that I'm used to, which maybe doesn't help it, but hey. There's also the odd lyrical change, and I never know whether that's deliberate or someone's just ad-libbing or doesn't know the words. You'd assume that they know the words when they're doing a cover of a classic, but trying to make it their own, I suppose. But yeah, musically, Michael Thompson on guitar, very tasty. You got Randy Jackson on bass, who's doing some solid work, and of course Jeffrey um, on the drums. Just the steady groove as always, and some pretty great fills, especially that one around the 3 minute mark, and then some other great stuff at the climax of the song from Jeff here. So well worth hearing for that, and nice to reevaluate that Michael wasn't as awful as some people might have you believe. Doesn't mean I'm going to rush out and listen to this whole album or anything else that he ever did, because well, Jeff's not going to be on anything else. Although Steve Lukather is on a fair bit on a later album. I'm not doing everything Steve Lukather's ever played on. We don't have time. The universe will have ended before we have time to get through all of the things that Steve Lukather played on. Yes, as I say, it was actually a quote from guitarist Michael Thompson about Jeff's playing on this track, and particularly that fill, that made me go, oh, Jeff and Michael Bolton, you don't say. So thank you to Michael for that, and to the Facebook page, The Amazing Era of the LA Session Men, which is where I saw that. Check it out. There's lots of great musicians heaping praise on other great musicians, and they're people that you should know the names of. Those of us who grew up reading liner notes of everything we could get our hands on. Well, that's how I became the man I am today. So maybe you shouldn't read liner notes. I don't know. Anyway, I did enjoy revisiting that. Um, yeah, I'm probably never going to have Michael Bolton on the channel again, but hey, it's good to spread out and hear things from different genres, whether they're cool or not. And I don't do cool in the first place, so you'd think that this would be a go-to for me in some ways. As it happens, I'm seeing Toto the night that this video drops, so if you want to hear Jeff on a track from their support act tonight, you can find it on one side of my head, and on the other side, you can catch up on last week's All Toto live stream. So I will just say bye for now, but not for long.
Acting is reacting. This does not mean acting again.